Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for those of you who are new here, my name's Amy. I'm a full-time reseller, primarily on the Poshmark app, but I also dabble in a few other apps and I sell locally. So today I'll be doing a ship with me video. I've been having a lot of fun doing these videos and it seems like people are learning from them. So let's get started. The first item that sold is this pair of vintage Salvatore Ferragamo wingtip Oxford dress shoes. I used all of the keywords that I could, and these are kind of in a maroon oxblood color. Now I do pick up vintage Ferragamo when I see it, as long as it is under about $10. Because sometimes they do sell for high prices, but it does take time. It isn't an overnight sale if you want to get a higher price. I had these listed for quite some time, and I recently used the relist tool on my Posher VA to relist them. And I actually increased the price by 10%, and they sold for full price at $108. Boy, was I thrilled with that. I had originally listed them for, what would that be? 99 or 98 or something like that. And so I was thrilled with that when I saw that full price sale. I'm pretty sure it was a Google buyer. I had paid just $6 for these at a thrift store. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $80.40. Oh, I just love having big profits like that. Because, you know, it just means I don't have to work quite as hard. So I always like to have at least a $20 profit on items. But if I have an $80 profit on one item, that means that's 3 less items that I have to photograph, list, ship, store, all of the above. So I am a firm believer in working smarter, not harder. I wish all my sales were big profits like that. Wouldn't that be great? Make our lives a lot easier. Okay, the next item is another pair of slippers, shoes, and these, I just thought these were so adorable. These are vintage slippers. They're like new. They have a little sticker on there still. And I just thought these were adorable. I believe they're rabbit fur on the top. And I picked these up at the Goodwill for $4. I wouldn't always pick up something like this, probably for under $5 like I paid. And I had them listed for $45. And I had just relisted them also using the relist tool from my Posher VA. And a buyer offered me $30, which was a little bit less than I was hoping to get. So I added these to a bundle and sent the buyer a message and said, thank you for your offer. I was hoping to get a little bit more for these. Would you come up to 35? And she said yes. So I counteroffered 35. So after my cost of goods, which was the $4, my net profit was $24. Not a home run like the last one, but a fair, honest profit. And I just think these are adorable. And I really hope the buyer loves them, which I'm sure she will. They're very unique. And for those, you know, I use terms like 50s, 1950s pinup, lingerie, any type of vintage keyword that I could think of. Real fur, bow, all the stuff. So, okay, the next item is a vintage St. John skirt. Now, this is their Santana knit, which is one of the more popular lines that I sell from them. And I've said this before, I've talked about St. John before, but in case you haven't watched, I do like to pick it up as long as I can find it for under about $5, because some items sell for really high amounts and some, you know, sell for $25, $30. I tend to do the best with the long santana knit skirts. I usually sell those in the $55 to even $80 range. So this was a shorter length and I had picked it up at an estate sale for $2. I had it listed for $49, I think, and a buyer offered me $40, which I thought was very fair, so I accepted. So after posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $30. I'm more than happy with that. You know, another thing to note about St. John is that it's not always an instant seller unless you price it low. I like to hold out for a little bit higher prices for my items, so sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to sell. So the next item is a vintage pair of Levi's with the orange tab. Now these did have some fading and distressing on the front, but they were the right price, so I picked them up anyways. I paid $4 for them at a thrift store. And I did have these listed for quite some time. I must have had them priced too high. I think maybe I had them listed for $49 and a buyer offered me $32. And because I had had them listed for so long, I was more than happy to accept that. And I don't think that's an unreasonable price. Like I said, I had paid $4 for these at either a yard sale or a thrift store. I can't remember for sure. So that made my net profit $21.60. I'm happy with that. I can move these out and use that money to pay my bills and to invest in some new inventory. So I'm going to use a Tyvek envelope for these. These are the Tyvek envelopes are quite durable. And I feel like they're a little bit less wasteful than using a whole box. So I will be back in a couple of days to share what else I ship out. But before then, if you guys are enjoying my videos, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. If you ring the bell, it'll notify you when I upload new videos. I try and upload at least once a week, sometimes twice. And if you are liking this video, if you could give it a thumbs up and comment down below, both of those really help me out. They help encourage me and they boost my videos in the YouTube algorithm so they suggest them to more people. So that's it for today. I'll see you in a few days. Hello, I'm back to ship out my sales from the last couple of days, and I'm happy to say that there's been some really good ones. So let's get started. The first items that sold is a set of 12 of these mid-century vintage champagne coupes. These are by Sasaki and they're the coronation style. I recently picked up a huge set of these at the Goodwill and I almost passed them up. I'm so glad that I didn't. They had, it was a set of 37. There was 12 of these, 12 smaller champagne coupes, 12 of another style of glasses, and a pitcher. And they had them priced at $39.95. And I was hem-hawing and couldn't decide if I wanted to get it, even though that's a pretty good deal. I've had these in the past and they took a little while to sell. So I was getting ready to leave and then I realized that they were the half off color of the day. So it was half off of $39.99 and I had a 10% off coupon. So I ended up paying $18 for the whole set of 37 pieces. I listed these last week for $129, plus on Cherish, you can add a packaging fee, which is separate from the shipping fee. And so I charged a $15 packaging fee, which made my total sale price of these $144. I'm so excited because they only took a few days to sell. So when you I split the group up into 4 different listings. So if you divide $18 by 4, that makes my cost of goods $4.50 for all 12 of these. So after cherish fees and my cost of goods, that makes my net profit $113.70. Woo! I love having big profits like that. I say it over and over again. Now these will take me some time to package, maybe 20 minutes or so to safely package each of these, you know, and lots of supplies, but that's still a great net profit. I'm very excited. So I'm gonna package these off camera, and I'm going to move them out of the way so I don't knock them down, because I don't wanna break them or chip them. Okay, the next item is another awesome sale. And it is this vintage suede coat, and it has a sheepskin collar, and then it is also lined in, I should have had this unbuttoned, but it is lined in cowhide. Let's see, can you guys see that? Yeah, there we go. And it's marked made in Argentina. It's really a beautiful, unique piece. And to be honest, it could be worn by men or women. But it's in nice condition. I found this at a thrift store in Lewiston, Idaho, and they did have it marked at $55. But because it was such a unique piece, I decided to pay up and get it. It did take me about 4 months for it to sell, and I originally listed it at $325. I've gotten a number of offers, lowball offers, you know, 80, 100, 150, and today I got an offer for $225, which is still a little bit less than I wanted to get for it, but seeing that it's been listed for that long and that's the best offer that I've had, I decided to go ahead and accept it. So like I said, my cost of goods was $55. So after Posh fees, that made my net profit $125 on one item. Yay. So makes me so happy when I have to list and ship less items because I have a higher profit on each item. So I'm gonna, again, go ahead and package that up off camera, but I am going to use one of the plastic garment bags to cover it and fold it up safely. Okay, so the next item that sold was this pair of vintage Candie's wedge sandals, and they kind of have a faux cork platform. I picked these up at the bins, and they do have a little bit of wear on them, and I indicated that in the listing, but I just thought they were, you know, really had 90s Y2K vibes, and I thought somebody would really like them. So I listed them for, what did I list these for? $69, I believe. And a buyer asked me questions about the sizing, which I didn't really know for sure because they're not totally my size, but I offered to give her measurements, and she bought them after I gave her the measurements. So sometimes it does pay off to provide additional measurements for people. Sometimes it's just a waste of time, but if you don't provide measurements, it's pretty much a sure thing that they're not going to buy it. And if you do, then you at least have a chance that they will buy it. So I picked these up at the bins for about $2. And like I said, they sold for $55. So after Posh fees and my cost of goods, that made my net profit $42. I think that's wonderful. You know, this is a vintage, unique item that some of the other people at the bins had passed up. In fact, I got there long after the new bin came out for the shoes, and people had already picked through everything, and I still saw the value in these, so I picked them up. If you're not keeping your eyes out for items that are from the 90s and the 2000s, you really should do a little research on that and keep your eye out for that, because it's very trendy and popular right now, and you can get good money for some of those vintage Skechers and Steve Madden, other platform type pieces. They're not all this good, but definitely still some good profits to be made if you're picking them up for affordable prices. Okay, the next item is this pair of suede fringe Minnetonka boots. And I listed these not very long ago, maybe a week or two. And I listed them for $59. A buyer started out by offering me like $30 or something, and we went back and forth, and she finally came up to $45, which was slightly less than I wanted to get, but I decided to go ahead and accept that because she wanted them and she was ready to buy them for that price. So sometimes you just have to let go of what you think you should get for an item and take what someone is actually willing to pay for it. I had paid $6.50 for these at the Goodwill. I think I'm gonna tuck this inside there too. So that made my net profit $29.50, which is an honest profit. I'm always happy when I can make more than about $20 on an item. That's kind of what I shoot for, because you know, the time it takes to source and list and ship, clean, all the things that you need to do. I think that that is a reasonable profit for the amount of time that it takes. And that's not to say that you shouldn't buy and sell items for a $10 profit. Everybody's business model is different. Everybody works at a different pace. So if that works for you, then keep doing it. It's great. I just am able to source a lot of items in my area. So I already have a ton of inventory, but I would be even more overwhelmed if I was buying items that I could make $10 on, because there is a lot of them. So, okay, anyways, blah, blah, blah. Moving on to the next item, and it is a pair of Dansko clogs. And these are just the basic clogs. They kind of have a burnished, distressed toe, but otherwise they're in great condition. I listed these, I think I had these listed for $55 and a buyer offered me $45. I thought that was a fair price. That's kind of in the range with what I normally sell Danskos for. So I went ahead and accepted. I had paid $6.50 for these. So that made my net profit $29.50. Again, another honest profit. These didn't take a terribly long time to sell, maybe a month or two. So that makes me happy. Oh, and I forgot, I got these new thank you stickers off Amazon. And they say, thank you for supporting my small business. So I'm gonna go back and put those on the other items I sold. I typically write thank you on the shipping label, but I was watching a video about how packages, a reseller, I think it's Amber Resells, she orders from 4 or 5 different resellers and sees how the item comes packaged. And I was watching that and I saw that some people were putting the stickers on there. And I just thought it was a nice touch. I thought I was kind of comparing the way that she got things, and I think I would prefer to receive something with a little bit extra on there, or a thank you at least. So I'm gonna go ahead and try these out, and they kind of make me smile. They're like holographic, iridescent, so we'll see if that makes any difference in the amount of ratings or anything I get. So that is it for today, and I will be back in a couple of days to share what else I ship out. We'll see you then. Hi again, it's a few days later and I'm back to ship out my sales. I have a few goodies to share with you. So the first item is this vintage crystal rhinestone choker necklace. Isn't that pretty? I just listed this a couple of days ago and I listed it for $55. The buyer came in and started out by offering me $30, but this is a unique looking piece and kind of a harder to find length. It's only 14.5 inches, and the crystals are very sparkly and clear. So I decided that I wanted to get a little bit closer to my original asking price, so we went back and forth and settled on $45, which overall I was happy with. I had paid just $3 for this at an estate sale, so that made my net profit after Posh fees $33, which I am overall happy with. As I've said before, I like listing vintage costume jewelry. You know, it doesn't always have huge profits, but sometimes it does, and I can pick it up for pretty reasonable prices in my area. So the next item is this pair of turquoise kind of heart-shaped earrings. These were signed on the back, so I could verify that they were Native American made, so I put that in the title. I had these listed for $49, and I sent out 20% off offers to all the likers with $5.95 discounted shipping. So I sent out an offer for $39 and the buyer accepted. Again, I had paid $3 for these at an estate sale. So that made my net profit $26.48. I am happy with that. These are easy to list and ship and store. So that is great. Okay, and the next item is just this pair of New Balance kind of casual sneakers. I had originally purchased these for myself, but they ended up being a little bit too snug. I'm usually in between an 8 and an 8.5, and these were an 8, so I just didn't end up wearing them. I decided to go ahead and list them instead of trying to sell them at a yard sale, because I can never seem to get more than $2 or $3 at a yard sale. I had these listed for, I don't know for sure, maybe about $20 or $25. This was also a sale from sending out the 20% off offer to likers with discounted shipping. So I sent this buyer an offer for $17 with discounted shipping. I don't remember what I paid for these because I originally bought them for myself, but that made my profit $10.92 after Posh fees. So that's definitely better than $2 or $3 at a yard sale, and I can move them out of my closet and get something else. So that is it for this week. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. I greatly appreciate all of the kind and fun comments that you guys are leaving. It just makes it so much easier and so much fun to do this. So also, if you are watching and enjoying my videos, but you haven't subscribed yet, I would so appreciate it if you would hit that subscribe button. If you ring the bell, it will notify you when I upload new videos. If you could give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, those also help me out. All right, thanks again. We'll see you next week.